Hi there, welcome to my channel, Let's Waste Money. I haven't recorded an analysis in a bit, so I thought I would start up again. And instead of doing a full race analysis on YouTube, I thought I would just focus on one horse. And that horse, as you can see on screen, is named Elate. And she's running in the Fleur de Lis on Saturday night at Churchill Downs. And we're just going to take a look at her and answer one question, or discuss one question. Is Elate the same horse as in 2018? Because to my eye, I feel like maybe there's something wrong here. And we're going to take a deeper look by looking at her speed figures. And then we're going to watch her replays from her two races this year. And we're going to see what we see. Is there something wrong with her? So let's take a look at her speed figures first. I don't know if you can see it on the video recording, but here's the chart for the Delaware Handicap last summer. And this was Elate returning off a layoff. So this was her first start off the bench. And she won the race by over 3 lengths and earned a 122 Timeform US speed figure. You can see here. And it was a pretty good start to her campaign. So you would think, okay, she earned a 122 on Timeform US. She won by over 3 lengths in a 10 furlong race, the Delaware Handicap. So you would think, okay, she's going off to a big campaign, or a big second half of 2018. And she did improve in her next start to a 131 in the personal instant when she ran second to Abel Tasman. And she only lost by a neck there. So she was in racer start form last year with the 122, the 131, and she finished second to Abel Tasman, not by a huge margin. And you would think that she would go on to the Raiders Cup and be one of the top contenders, but Elate got injured some point afterwards, and she had to skip the Breeders' Cup. And then she returned at Oaklawn this year, and she just hasn't looked the same, at least not visually. Well, not on paper too, because I'm going to show you guys her speed figures this year in a second. You see here, she returned with a 112 on Timeform US in the Azeri Stakes, and she finished second to Midnight Bissu, who is a good filly. I won't deny Midnight Bissu is a very good filly who won the Ogden Phipps last weekend in impressive fashion, but the speed figure drop off is kind of concerning because when she returned off the layoff last year or last summer, she scored a 122. So why would she score a 112 coming back this time? I don't know. Maybe she's older and she needs one start off the layoff. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll look at the next race, the Apple Blossom Handicap. And she earned a 117, so that's nowhere near the 131. Last year, she only needed one start to reach the 131, and this year, she only improved to a 117 in her second start. But I don't know, maybe Maude is taking his time with Elate. I don't know, I doubt it. I think she tried her hardest in that race, but we're going to look at that race, and we're going to look at the Azeri Stakes too, and see what we see. Because looking at replays is something you need to do. You can't just rely on numbers or read the charts. You have to look at the replays, and you have to think for yourself what is going on in the race as you watch the replay. So you're going to see here that Elate breaks pretty well. You can see her jockey, Jose Ortiz, is in the blue and white right here. Midnight Bissu is right next to her in the red and white. And Elate goes kind of wide on the first turn, but it's not really that big of a deal. There's a long shot in front named Tappa Tappa Tappa. And she's going to be completely outclassed in this race because you see behind her is Shamrock Rose, who won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. And there's Midnight Bissu, and there's Elate. And right on her outside is Eskimo Kisses, who kind of forces the issue a little bit, I guess. The announcer makes it known that Elate is probably moving a bit early because Eskimo Kisses was right up her outside. And you see Elate is going to range up 3 wide heading into the far turn. She's going to move along with Shamrock Rose. And together they're going to catch up with Tafa 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 here. Well, Midnight Bisu is just biding her time through a 48.81 fraction. So even if the fractions were slow, the jockey must have been very confident to keep waiting right then, because I don't know. Um, she could have switched out right here, but the jockey is still pretty patient on Midnight Bisu, and he chooses to go behind horses. I'm going to show a late here for a second. I'm going to pause it for a second to show that she's in the clear. Look, she has a clear path. She has dead aim on the leader, Shamrock Rose. I don't know. I think a horse that earned a 131 speed figure last year on Time Formula should be able to blow by Shamrock Rose, even though Shamrock Rose is a good filly. Late kind of runs in the same spot. And you're also going to see Midnight Bisu, who's going to dive towards the rail, which is supposed to be the more stressful path for a horse because there's the rail next to you and there's a horse on your right side. So most horses don't like rallying on the rail because it's more intimidating for them. Midnight Bisu was a true professional in that race, and she just went to the rail like she knew she had to. We'll watch it again. So you're going to see here, Shamrock Rose is on the lead. Late is going to range up outside her, and then she's going to stall. She's going to hang like a chandelier. Eventually she does get past Shamrock Rose, but it just takes her so long. While Midnight Bisu, look at the acceleration on Midnight Bisu. She just goes right by them. And it just gives me the sense that something is wrong with a late here, because she had dead aim on Shamrock Rose, and it took her forever to pass that filly. We'll take a look at the Apple Blossom and see what we see in that race. This time, Elate has to face not only Midnight Bisu, but she has to face Escape Clause, who is rising up in the division, even though she didn't run well in the Ogden Fifths last weekend. And she also faces Wonder Godot, who sprints to the lead right here. So you can see Wonder Godot sprinting to the lead. She's not the same filly as she was last year. I think after this race, Wonder Godot retired. So the connections knew something was wrong, and I think they just let Wonder Godot do whatever she wants in this race. And she created a pretty sizable gap here between her and Escape Clause is in second. And you see Elate here is in fourth. She's the one saving ground now. So you can see here that Midnight Bisu is ranging up on the outside, and she's going to be the one that goes wide on the turn, but she's getting first run, while Elate is still waiting on the inside. And you would think here that Elate has a lot of run in her, because initially she looked like she was loaded, but when she tips outside on the far turn, she has a dead aim on Escape Clause and Midnight Bisu, but she has nothing. Jose Ortiz is asking her, but she weaves in and out like there's something wrong there, or that she's empty. Maybe she's weaving in and out because she's tired. I don't know, but Escape Clause and Midnight Bisu actually opened up on Elate, if you want to watch that again. Here's Ortiz whipping Elate, asking her for everything she has. And Escape Clause and Midnight Bisu just open up at least one or two lengths. Elate still has a good margin on the rest of the field, but it's very concerning that she had Midnight Bisu and Escape Clause in her sights, and she couldn't do anything. Whether mentally or physically, I don't know. Maybe she's lost the desire to win. That is one possibility. But the fact is, Elate had a clear run in her second start off the bench, which is supposed to be her best run, because remember, she earned a 131 in her second start off the bench last year, and she couldn't do anything in this race. She only earned a 117 on Timeform US. So I feel like something is wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe Elate goes on a tear and starts a new win streak and records 5 or 6 131 buyers or 131 Time for US speed figures in a row. I don't know. Maybe. but I feel like something is wrong with Elate, in that she's not the same filly as last year. Because this Elate last year was almost a monster. I mean, she ran a 131, and that is pretty hard. On the bar scale, that would be 111, I think. And for a filly, that is a pretty big number. So I don't know what is wrong with Elate this year, but I feel like there is something wrong with her. Can she win the Fleur de Lis? Of course. I mean, look at the field. There are no stars in this field, but she can lose. Elate can lose to She's a Julie, or go Google Yourself, or Blue Prize. I'm a little less confident and skeptic and Auspicious Babe, but this is not a slam dunk for Elate. And even if she wins this race, I have my strong doubts that she can face a star like Midnight Bissu, or I don't know, another star like her, and be the same filly that she was last year. So I feel like Elate is not the same horse. I could be wrong. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.